Welcome back to Half-Assed Garage. This is part 3 of the tilt front clip for the square body Chevy. This video I'm going over parts and tools and such. I will share a link in the description of this video for the hinges themselves that I use, so you can see them before I attached them and painted them. You can see them a little better, more detail. Moving on to tools. I use real basic stuff. I don't have a lot. I used an angle grinder, just a Porter cable, Harbor Freight Special, cut off wheels, wire wheel. One thing to keep in common is the wire wheel on the grinder is a lot more intense. It catches the edges, shoves itself off. Wear safety glasses. It spits bristles at you like crazy. I felt them bouncing off my safety glasses and face. They have hit my arms, hands, and they will draw blood. They don't hurt that bad, unless you're a little bitch. Just kidding. But just wear safety glasses. It's worth it. I will use the wire brush on the drill for the majority of the times you're like cleaning off paint is the main reason I was using these. But this removes more of it, and it removes it faster. So I used this on the frame where I had the room and space. And I used the wire wheel on the drill itself, basically for the rest of it, because I had more control. And it wasn't as prone to walking away, running away from me, and jumping and hitting. And it didn't spit as many bristles, and it didn't spit them as violently. Next, I used a cloth measuring tape borrowed from my wife, because it's easier when doing measurements to go around a contour and everything to get to the same place. And I just use that for simple things like making sure I had lines to cut off at the same point on both sides of the truck, and for centering the core support on the frame. Simple things like that, but it helps go around lines and corners to make sure that you get, it may not be accurate because you're coming out, but it moves around corners, so it's easier than fighting with a tape measure when you have shit in your way. Welder. I'm a novice. I bought a Lincoln Handy MIG. So wire feed welder. It can do MIG. It comes with gas hookups. I didn't use that. I just used the normal shielded whatever wire. I have the wheel somewhere. I can share that later. And I just used the highest setting when welding the thick material, like that plate and the hinge to the frame and such. And then the lowest setting when doing the body itself, because it's thinner material, like welding the hood to the fenders and such, and the core support, because that'll eat holes right through it. And Sawzall, nothing special. I just got the DeWalt little 20 volt max, shares the batteries with my drills. DeWalt drills. I have all three, so it was easier. One for Phillips driver, one for sockets, one for the drill bit or the wire wheel, or a unit bit for making those bolt holes larger. Now, the wire wheel that I use on the drill, there's almost none of it left, but it's just like that, just goes into your drill. I use this for the majority of the time because, like I said, it gave you more control. It wasn't as violent, wasn't as prone to jumping away from me and spitting those bristles at me. They were 3 times as long. I've used it for a lot of stuff though. That is very important. Good safety glasses are more important. And that's about it for tools and supplies. I used real basic shit. That's all the stuff I used, apart from ratchet sockets, a good workbench, and clamp, C-clamp, There's my piece of scrap metal. That's what I use to make the plates to mount the hinges down to on the frame. I just measure the length, cut it. I use a C-clamp to bend those brackets to hold on the lower portion of the clip. And another very helpful tool, small sledgehammer. Now, I have a fiberglass one-piece front clip from US Body. It comes pre-cut with the lower halves. They're already pre-cut. I grabbed the wrong side, but as you can see here, pre-cut. They're made very well. The cut that I did on my fender was very similar to this. It's just a little bit steeper of an angle because I went from that body line through the hole for the badge. And the reason I used the steel one rather than the fiberglass one was during the time of this recording is in the heat of the coronavirus thing, so my job is slowed down because I drive a tow truck. Don't have the money to buy supplies to build a frame and supports for all this. So I decided to just use the steel clip because everything you need is already there. You use your core support, the fenders, and the hood. The only other thing that you need is a hinge, a couple of hinges, some metal plate to weld to the frame. You need some material to make a frame for the radiator to mount it directly to the chassis. And that's pretty much it other than your tools. All in all, this cost me 40 bucks. That's about it. I got the bed frame rail free off of local marketplaces and stuff. It's just standard angle iron. You can see where I had it ground, and I had spot welded it to the fenders. Just a light spot so I could hit it loose with a hammer. And that's it for this video, and I will try to also do videos when I get to the parts of doing a quick release clip for the wires that go to the headlights and mounting those, the bumpers and such. I'll do another video for all that as I get to it. But for now, that's as far as I am. So if you're trying to do the same, just keep in mind it doesn't take that much supplies, tools, knowledge. It's all pretty basic, simple. You can learn as you go. Ask a friend, Google things, figure it out as you go. Don't be intimidated. It's really, really easy. Just have patience and think about everything you're doing before you do it. Because once you cut steel, you can weld it back, but it's not always that easy. But also don't be afraid of teaching yourself how to weld. That's what I'm doing, just looking up YouTube videos and making a hack job out of it. So if you want to do this tilt front yourself, good luck, and just have some patience and wear your safety glasses. Thank you for watching. Stay tuned. I'll keep you guys updated on the rest.